right, here we are, the Pickleball crew. We're going to try things a little bit differently. This week, Vicki and Ken and I had the pleasure of attending the groundbreaking for 12 new outdoor courts at one of our local towns, Slidell, Louisiana. And it really brought us to think about what is the state of pickleball facilities and where is it headed, or where should it head? And Ken, you had some statistics that you could share with us.
Yeah, I was, doing a little search to find out how many tennis courts existed in the United States per capita versus the number of pickleball courts. And as through 2022, these are the numbers that came up in my Google search. It was an AI generated Google search. But it was saying that there's about 738 tennis courts for every 20,000 people per capita. So, but for that same 20,000 people, there's 6 pickleball courts. So, tennis has been a hot sport for a long time. It was big in the 70s and 80s, and it's still popular. But pickleball, it's the fastest growing sport now with over a 200% growth over the last 3 years. And actually, the percentage of adults that are playing pickleball is rivaling the percentage of adults. It's both around 14, 15% of that are playing tennis and pickleball. Yet there's a big disparity in the number of courts, per capita. So we were just at the groundbreaking, as Bud said, and I think the cities are now starting to respond to the need, the call.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to see, and we're hearing more and more about grassroots efforts to make these things happen. And the people who have played at that particular park for a very long time had been working on this for about 5 years, putting the bug in the mayor's ear. And he had told them a while back, I'm going to get the tennis courts built. And once I get those built, I'm going to head on to pickleball. And he kept to his promise, which is really nice to see. But there were a lot of background efforts, even the creation of a Slidell Pickleball Association, different things like that, where it took the community to kind of, put the bug in the city's ear and stay on top of it. And that's really good to see. I know we're hearing a little bit more about that in the Lafayette area too. Jennifer's, working on something there, and it was the same sort of thing, just a grassroots effort. So it is taking people, pickleball players to just do it, to get in there and step in and do something about it. So really good to see the cities responding, though.
I think one of the problems that you run into is that a lot of municipalities, their recreation programs are focused on youth. And I think pickleball is still perceived as an older folks kind of sport. So I think as pickleball expands and as we get more youth playing, then I think these municipalities will wake up and realize that the value of having, pickleball facilities for their recreational programs.
Yeah, well, it's funny. We could all 3 to 4 years ago, we could see this coming, and the how can I put this? Even back then, the opportunities that smaller towns like Opelika would have, they would go ahead and jump in there. And now you got it popping up in a lot of different places. And I think some people are going to think, like, there's been talk about the new place Stacks that opened up, and there's another place that's going to open up and it's going to crush what they got going on. I don't think that's going to happen. I think as each one of these places opens up, it's going to spread the people out, but you can just go to any facility that you play at, and you are seeing new people daily show up for this. And Bud, you are right. It is perceived as an older person sport, but and Ken's a statistics man. He could find this. I'm sure it's getting younger by the minute.
Oh, absolutely, you can see it. Yeah.
Yes. In our tournament this past weekend, we had at least 3 or 4 families that participated in the tournament. And you had a father-son, at least 3 teams that were father-sons with teenage sons. And then even in the mixed doubles, it was a mom and one of the sons that participated. Older teens, but really good players and having a great time. And it's amazing to see this happening and seeing more and more younger people coming in. So there's no doubt it is happening.
Well, when I started playing 6 years ago, there were only 2 places on the North Shore to play pickleball. There was Cross Gates and Holy Trinity Lutheran Church. That was it. And they were both indoor, and there were 4 courts at each place. And just look at the growth in the last 6 years. The facilities that we've got that are popping up. And I think it's a slow process, but I think a lot of these recreational districts, these municipalities are beginning to realize that this is a force to be reckoned with, and they need to get on board. I like the interview that we had with the mayor and the fact that his interest in those courts is tournaments and the revenue that it's going to bring into the city. That's another reason to, for these municipalities to get on board.
If he's done his research, like that facility you showed us a while ago, the city will make money for hotels, restaurants, all of that. We've already done shows on that. But it's just funny. We could see it because we were on the inside, seeing how excited people were about it. But it's hard for some people outside of the sport kind of looking in. It's almost kind of like, what's that little cult going over there? What are they doing and what are they so excited about? But once you get on the inside and see the excitement, there's a lot of opportunities to be had there.
So Jeff, I really never looked at us as a cult.
Kudos to the mayor for figuring that out.
Yeah, he did. And his interest was really, really intense. You could tell that he made a promise. He kept to it, and kudos to him because he really knew he was going to come through on this. He worked with the council, and interesting thing too was to hear how they took it from, I think they were starting out with 8 courts, and when they realized they had the room and also started to look at the economic impact from having larger tournaments, he went back to the council and said, hey, we've got to turn this into 12 courts. And they all agreed. They all knew that it was something worth doing. So that was really good to see.
Well, and I hate to stay on the topic, but I remember when Mayor Cromer came to Pelican Park to look at a tournament. And I think it was in the gym. It had to be a seniors or something like that. But he was amazed at the number of people that were there playing. He said, "This is nothing like tennis." He said, "There's all kinds of people here." I said, "Well, get on board, Mayor."
I can tell you within the last 6 months, from our house, we had a private club that has 13 tennis courts, and we're members for a while. Build 4 outdoor courts. Then there's an indoor facility opening up with an outdoor surface with 4 courts. And then our local city turned 2 dilapidated tennis courts into 4 beautiful outdoor courts with lights. So now within a 1.5 mile radius, there's, that's 12 courts that are available to me, for free, the other 8 by membership or, an hourly rate. But the fact that those courts didn't exist 6 months ago, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, same thing in a private club here in my hometown. It's got 12 outdoor tennis courts, and they took 2 of those courts and converted them and relined them, dedicated, into pickleball courts and gave them 8 courts. So, they saw the value of that. And I remember a tournament they had there. They had a tennis tournament and a pickleball tournament there at the same time. And the
Mhm.
number of pickleball players way outnumbered the number of tennis players, considering they had 10 courts to play on.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
here is a real time example of the explosion of pickleball. Okay, everybody knows that that's around knows that Stacks opened up several months back. They have 12 indoor courts. Okay, they hadn't been open but a couple of months, and now, and it's not a rumor that they are expanding, and they're gonna. Nobody knows the exact location yet. I think they're wanting to make that a grand opening type deal, but and not to pry into their numbers, but it's obvious the numbers that they were seeing come in. They realized, hey, we need more room. So, and those courts, you can go over there basically any weeknight, and there's 60 to 80 players on those courts. And there's a waiting list some nights where you may or may not get in. So Stacks has already secured, they're securing somewhere else that's supposed to have 12 indoor courts and I don't know, maybe 4 to 6 outdoor courts. So for them to realize that in such a short period of time after just opening an incredible facility, that tells you, hey, this thing is growing. We need it, we got growing pains here. We need to expand and find more room.
Along with that, of course, is the demand for some of these facilities and everything else, which I know Stacks has done a great job doing that. And that's coming up with programs and for beginners, for intermediate, and for more advanced. And, a lot of people are seeing the need to really and truthfully teach beginners the game and get them out there. Because once they get out and they just start hacking around on the courts, they realize how much they like it. But it's really, really quick turnaround before they're like, okay, I want to know this game better. I want to get better with it. And so along with that comes another facet of it, and that's coaches and programs. And it's endless at this point.
All right, we're going to take a little bit of a break here, but when we come back, we're going to talk about what we think people ought to be doing and what type of facilities ought to be going up. So you need to stay tuned. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Pickleball Crew. We are a group of pickleball fanatics based in Southeast Louisiana and are passionate about all things pickleball everywhere. Our focus is to inform, acknowledge those who help build the game regionally, and promote tournaments in our area. We do our best to present this with a love of the sport, a sense of humor, and a lot of fun. So join Vicki Wynn, Ken Wynn, Jeff Fuchsia, and me, Bud Klein, in our latest episode. We are glad you are along for the ride. All right, we're back, and we've got a lot of thoughts about what we think facilities ought to be doing.
Obviously, in looking at the drawing, the rendering for the Slidell courts, is making sure those courts are north-south, right? You want the sun to rise and set side to side. I personally, I like the access from both sides of a court and having extra walkways. I also like the fact when courts are singly divided, where there's a gate completely around a court, and it kind of keeps that ball in play. Is nothing worse than being in a key moment of a point and there's an opening between the courts, or there's no fence at all, and a ball rolls onto your court and prevents a great point from finishing. So that's one thing that I think is like Opelika. To me, that is, as far as the gating system and the fencing, to me that's the best I've seen.
Well, I like Ken with the graphic Bud showed us of the new 12 courts that are going in Slidell. Some of my best memories of Pelican Park to this point in my life are big matches that occurred there during a tournament where you got people hanging all over that inside fence. So with the walkways down the side of courts and on both sides, there's room for people to view, and I like that. That's kind of the Coliseum type deal where you got people all around on some of our big matches. And if we had that at like Pelican Park, think of how the people would be all around like we're right on top of you.
Right.
Being able to
Right.
hear when Ken messes up and he's saying all those bad cuss words and stuff. You kind of watch that, Ken.
And that happens almost every game, really.
Yeah. That's a funny thing. It just hit me. I don't think I've ever heard Ken Wynn say a cuss word. That's a credit to you, Ken Wynn.
But but Jeff, you bring up a good point. When Opelika built their second set of 12 courts, they allowed you to stand on the side of, they did them in pairs with two walkways, very similar to how Slidell is doing it. So you can watch from the side, because that's a big difference in watching, from one end to the other, that you can actually watch the play from the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that would have been my thing too, Jeff, is two things. And that's really good, well thought out lighting, for evening play. We've been in too many situations where the lighting is really bad at night and you cannot see the ball. I mean, you just lose it. It's no fun after a while. So really good strategic lighting. And the other thing would be the viewership, because I do think that those tournaments or those facilities that have thought it through and even have bleacher type stadium seating and that sort of thing, where you can see all of the courts that are near you really, really well. I think that's important for tournament play, that people are not having to move around and everything else to just even try to see a match. So that those would have been my two thoughts, is just to make sure that those two things are well thought out. And I will say this, there's a facility in North Carolina that did an amazing job with what they did between their pickleball courts. And of course, they probably had really good land to do it. But not only did they put a good size space in between the courts, but they also put little round tables and chairs in between. So the seating was really nice for people taking a break between matches. And if you wanted to picnic there, you could, and just kind of hang out for the day. Because goodness knows, we're always out there for 5 and 6 hours, right?
What you're talking about, Vicki, just kind of adds to the ambiance and the uniqueness of this game. When we're not playing, most people like watching their friends. So the closer and the more people that could be around, it's just I don't know. It's a different sport than any that I've ever played in so many aspects, and that's just one of them. It's how much you enjoy watching your friends play, kind of commenting and laughing. If it's a rec play game.
So true. So true. The social part of it is really important. Very, very true. Good point.
That's a little teaser for an upcoming show. We're going to talk a lot about in the future some social aspects of pickleball.
Mm-hmm.
Just talking a little bit more, something that we've been through and didn't like are windscreens.
No.
Yeah, I agree. No.
Got to be able to see. It takes away from the experience when you can't really see. It's kind of, I don't know, encapsulating the players on the court, insulating them from people, and that's part of the fun of it, I think.
Plus, from my experience, they just don't really do that much good. I've never had to, they've got them at cross gates. We had them for a while at Pelican Park, and I just didn't think they ever did that much to really help things.
I think like Opelika built their second set of 12 courts, they went from incandescent lighting to the new LED lighting, and there's a big difference when you play on the first 12 versus the new 12. The other thing is they added more room on the sides of the courts and the back of the court so that you've got more room for an ATP. When some of these, and everybody does at their facility what sometimes they're trying to put in a lot of courts. But sometimes when you put too many courts in close together without fencing, you don't leave a lot of room between courts for ATP or just for one player not to run into another player. So making sure you've got ample room on the sides, because the way with these tennis players and this harder hitting, some of these balls are angled out, and if you've got that extra 2-3 feet to catch an angled ball, I think that just helps out. So
Yeah. I think one of the big secrets, though, is making sure that when you're going to build a facility, that you get somebody who's got some experience in either tennis courts or pickleball courts. Don't just hire somebody that's going to pour concrete and put
Right.
lines down for you. Get somebody who knows what they're doing. Now, let's talk a little bit about indoor courts. What should we look for indoor courts?
Gosh, soundproofing and good lighting again.
One of the best things about stacks is the black walls.
Mm-hmm.
I've never played any indoor court where I could see the ball as well as I do at stacks, and it's because of those black walls and the good lighting. They do have good lighting.
Mm-hmm.
And the insulation.
Huh?
The insulation. Those two things they got for free because they took over a sound stage. So they had black walls and insulation, and you can stand next to a court and all that insulation or whatever the material is in the ceiling and the walls absorbs sound. And it is not like, if you go to the Hilton and play indoors, which you're playing on a tennis court surface, but that is so loud in there, you can't even hear yourself think.
Yeah, it's a good point. But if I had to choose between black walls or insulation, I'd take the black walls.
Oh yeah, you got to be able to see.
And then an outdoor surface indoors.
Right.
And I'll mention this because I always thought that the lighting was really more important in the indoor facility, but we just had the tournament over the weekend, and it took me all the way to Sunday to realize that the glare on the floor was coming from very high windows, and they were on both sides of the gym. And so, to me, you've got to be able to black out those windows or something, because the glare comes in a directed way straight across the middle. But it was interesting. I whiffed at least 3 or 4 balls.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it didn't take till Sunday for me to hear how many other people said, man, I must have whiffed 5 balls over the weekend, So we were all in the same boat with not being able to see. Many, many times people were saying they lost the ball in the net. And that happened to me as well. I just couldn't even see the ball. So when that starts happening to you, you don't feel like you're in your, in a good environment to compete. Sure, everybody's got the same thing going, but still that's not when you're going to do your best. And so as much as possible, I would say that if you have to move to an indoor facility, you're opening up an indoor facility, consider if there's any natural light coming in, work it and block it.
I agree. All right, Krewe, that was a great discussion on new facilities and how they should be. And now we're going to take a little bit of time and let you see an interview not an interview, actually a ceremony that they had for groundbreaking for the new pickleball courts here in Slidell. And also an interview with the mayor, one of the driving forces in a local pickleball association, and a couple of old timers are going to talk to us.
I'm glad everybody could come out and join us today. What a glorious day it is in the city of Slidell. These are 2 projects that are promises made, promises kept by this entire administration, council. You guys have been talking to us for 5.5, almost 6 years now. Some of these council members that long, some of them only a short period of time, but we heard you. We're delivering, and we're so excited today to talk about this project. How many of you were here at the meeting when we had tennis project years ago, and I said, tennis people over here, pickleball over here, okay? I told you guys, you come second. Tennis comes first because I made the promise to them first, but I'd get to you. And here we are today, getting ready to turn a shovel on the first turns of dirt that we're going to do on the pickleball course. We were very fortunate when we put these things out to bid. We had a number projected for pickleball, and we had put the bid package together for 8 courts, plus an addendum for 4 more, if the money was right. Well, they came in about $125,000 under budget. So we said, well, what's the cost to do the full more? It's $300,000. So we said, go do all 12 at one time. Went back to these fine council members back here who said, for that amount of money, we're with you, Mayor. We're going to put all 12 courts in. So we're very excited to be able to 12 pickleball courts in here. Groundbreaking of the pickleball courts. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's ground is to open officially as the pickleball court, City of Slidell. Well, other. Congratulations, pickleballers.
I'm here with Slidell Mayor Cromer, and we are at John Slidell Park, and we just completed the groundbreaking ceremony for the 12 new pickleball courts, which will be getting started really soon. Mayor Cromer, this is an exciting day for the city of Slidell. It's an exciting day for all of the pickleball players in the area too. But tell us, it sounded very much like this has been a 5 to 6 years in the works, and a collaborative effort from a lot of different people.
Oh, no, it's been, we were elected about 5.5 years ago, and one of the first things we wanted to do was redo the tennis courts because they were in such bad shape. We're facing like $25,000 building service, or go out and see if we could just dig them up, start from scratch, and add some more. And we did, so we wanted to have a meeting to get tennis players' input. And we get to the meeting, and there's 100 people out there in the gym, it seems like. And all I'm hearing when I walk in the door is,
We're noisy people.
I gotta figure out who I'm talking to here. So I said, you tennis guys over here, you pickleball guys over here. Let me talk to pickleball first. Tennis was here before you. I'm going to take care of them. I promised them first, but I'll tell you, as soon as we get through with them, we'll get to you. So it took a while to get the tennis up to that, but as soon as we got the tennis courts out underway and not so much the focus, we had some really good surplus years. We set some money aside to start the pickleball process. And this has been, I guess, maybe 2 years. It's taken time to put it together.
That's great.
We're really excited about it.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful effort, and I know everybody appreciates it. I think it's also going to bring some economic boom to the area, too.
We hope so. We hope we put enough tennis pickleball courts here that you can host tournaments, and if we combine it with some of the indoor facilities we had, if you have inclement weather and you can't play outside, you can go inside and continue to hold your tournament. So we're hoping that you guys bring in people when you have
We do.
you bring in big groups of people, and that means heads in beds every night, seats in dinner table, and breakfast and lunch
Right.
around the community. And somebody's going to forget something, they're going to have to go to Dick's or pick up a racket or balls or shoes, shorts. Somebody always forgets something. So we're looking at this as being a driver for economic development in our community, and putting tax dollars in our coffers to help us maybe put some shade covers or something over these.
Oh, that would be great, too. So it looks like there's room for expansion, too, with the project. So that's wonderful. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. This is the first phase. We were able to get a little further than I expected because the bids did come in less than we expected. We talked about doing this on the south side of town at Ritchie, but when we did the core borings and soil samples down there, we found that the soil was just it's real loamy and soft. We had to do a lot of excavation, a lot of digging, a lot of backfill, which means another $500,000.
Right.
Changed from that and did the samplings here. We found out that we didn't have to do as much digging, didn't have to bring any fill, and enabled us to really bring that cost down below what we were projecting. And that's how we were able to put the other courts in that we did as an option.
That's exciting. So it's 12 courts, but there's also going to be lighting as well.
They're lit. Yeah, be lit.
That's great. So
access to the pavilion here with the bathrooms will be redone, refreshed, and have full access to that. And expect to be able to play pickleball anywhere from about daylight in the morning till 10, 11 o'clock at night.
That's
We
great.
won't keep it open all night, but we'll keep it open until late enough that the neighbors
That's great. That's terrific.
by the lights or the noise.
Well, we sure appreciate you being and spending the time with us. Are you going to play some pickleball is the big question.
My wife has been hounding me to come out to join you guys. I'm going to come out one morning over at Ritchie and
Good.
try whenever I have a slow moment.
Well, you've got some good teachers in Slidell. That was some of the first people that we came across when my husband and I started playing. and they were so warm and welcoming to us. And I know that still goes on, and there's a lot of help for beginners too. So that's the thing, that it's pickleball is just expanding.
You guys are keeping my feet to the fire pretty much. You're keeping me pretty active. I don't know when I'm going to have a slow moment. 'Cause whenever something changes, there's a new project. So, and that's what we're all about in the city. We listen to the citizens, we listen to the community, and we want to deliver what they want. We're not the visionaries of the city of Slidell. Everybody here are the visionaries, and our job is to facilitate and make it happen. So you're keeping me active.
That's wonderful. I mean, that's just ideal to have a mayor that will do that and takes and appreciates what the people want. And this is it, pickleball. Yes, we're all about it. So anyway, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Bud, I am here at John Slidell Park, and we're at the groundbreaking ceremony for the new pickleball courts that are about to begin. And I'm here with Dale Galloway with the Slidell Pickleball Association. Dale, what does this mean to you, for you today? This is an exciting event.
More importantly, what does it mean to the Slidell community, especially the young kids and the working adults? Today, we're at Ritchie Park, and we've got 8 courts, and we fit great in it. We have sometimes as many as 100 people come through a day.
Wow, that's great.
But the unsupported people are the working adults, the families, and the youth. So now with these courts, 12 courts with the 8 at Ritchie and the 12 here, we'll have 20 courts.
Wow, that's great.
And 20 courts will give us opportunity to start lots of new programs for kids and working adults. One of the board members wants to start intramurals, go to all the schools and start getting the schools to compete against each other. So, and bring them out.
Opens doors for so
opens,
many things.
we can now have big tournaments where we have indoor and outdoor tournaments, a little far apart, but with 15 minutes we can manage that.
Right.
So,
and I understand they're going to be lights as well. So evening play will be.
Yeah, I think till 9:00 at night. So, and the Slidell Pickleball Association is going to be in charge of managing it.
Oh, great.
So now what we're going to have to do is make sure that we manage it so it meets the needs of the entire community, not individuals. So that's our goal. Opportunity is here. We worked a long time for it, and it's great.
That's right. As the mayor mentioned, this has been in the works for like 5 or 6 years, and
yeah, we kind of kicked him in the butt a little bit. Maybe can I say butt, bud?
And so this is an exciting day. It's coming to fruition.
It's a great day for Slidell. It's a great day for the pickleball community.
It sounds very much like the project will take an immediate. They're just going to get rolling on it. He's got 160 days, 180 days. Is that?
Yeah, and we're going to be out here every day making sure that
that they're working. Right.
And in the summer we've got to move out of Ritchie because of summer camp. So that's going to move us from 8 courts back to 3 courts. So
big difference. Yeah.
So we're going to have to really press to get these working so we can again go back. But long term, it's going to be great for youth and great for working families as adults.
Absolutely. And with 12 courts, it's going to be amazing for the whole area, for all of St. Tammany Parish, because just as he mentioned, that is an open invitation for larger tournaments. I mean, that's pretty exciting as well.
12 outdoor courts, you can put on a large tournament. 20 courts, you can put on a huge tournament. And that's economic benefit and quality of life for Slidell.
That's right. Brings business to everybody in the area. Well, appreciate your time and being with us today. We're very excited for everybody in the Slidell community with the beginning of these courts. It's going to be fun to watch and amazing to see once it's done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Absolutely. I'm here with Jay Finch and Janice LeBlanc. These two guys are longtime Slidell pickleball players. And so we just wanted to know, being here and watching this groundbreaking ceremony today, how does it feel and what are your expectations with it?
First off, let's correct it. This is gasoline and this is fire. Jay and I are so much alike, and we've had so much fun together, and we have been around like in the rink, and so, but what's wonderful about today is the children. The children are going to benefit from this so much, and the old people, yeah, but to me, it's really about the future. Because Jay and I are getting so old, and that excites me more than anything. Because Jay has grandchildren, I have grandchildren, and we've played pickleball with them, and the grandchildren have picked up a little game, and they hit with each other.
Yes.
That's fun. That's
And
fun.
So anything for our grandchildren going forward, because this is a difficult world. And
Yeah.
If we can make it better for them and the old people, then I couldn't be happy. I couldn't be.
Right. And I always think it's time away from the electronics and the television, all those other things. Get outdoors.
It's such a great game because my sister's in her 60s and her son, who's in his 40s, were playing mixed doubles for the same
Oh,
time.
wonderful.
So it brings families together, and it's a lot of laughs. And so I just can't imagine the world without the.
That's
I really
I
can't.
know. I know.
And the people that I've met and who I love,
Friendship.
friendships, the social, the exercise, the mental. We're very mental. Jay, okay?
Yeah.
What is
Well,
that
I got to tell you
That's
my
it.
little story with Janice. Janice actually helped teach me and Mike Darby, actually.
Wow.
When we went to Cross Gates, Janice was one of the ones that played and actually played with. Well, I played with her, but I was so excited, I must have hit the ball before it bounced like 5 times in a row. And she looked at me and told me to go sit down.
in the bleachers?
And she went and played the game with the other 2 people against the other 2 people. And after a couple of rounds, she goes, "Come back, but don't hit that ball again."
I said, if you can't not hit that ball and don't let it bounce, go sit in the bleachers until you learn how to figure it out. You can't come back
So-
to the court.
So,
And Jay has never get that out first.
no, I tell everybody that story, but she showed us a lot.
That's great.
Did you never hit the ball?
No, not with her.
You learned.
But we were tickled when we got better lighting in the yellow light down Slidell.
And the two.
Then we turned around and got very excited when we got a brand new court floor. And then boom, lo and behold, we're playing at Fritchie, and it's opened it up, and it exploded. And then knowing that we're gonna get outdoor courts, 12 of them. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it's going to be so nice.
It's awesome. It's awesome for the city of Slidell and all the pickleball community, because you hear everywhere there's new places opening up all over the place.
Right.
So I'm glad Slidell is going to be a premier place.
Premier. And the big thing is they don't necessarily have 12 courts either. So 12 courts opens up for tournaments and different things that you guys, when you think about those junior programs and some of the high schools, and they'll be able to come and use the courts. It's going to open up.
And
a
that's
lot
what
of
they're doing right
opportunity.
now at Fritchie, because of the 8 courts at Fritchie. They're doing little tournaments for high school and other contributions that people need to raise money for different groups, and they're doing that, and it's great. It's fantastic.
That's
A lot of people don't know, but North Shore High School had a coach. This is a long time ago because my niece is early 40s, and she taught pickleball at North Shore High School when my niece was at high school. So, it maybe she left and it died, so the high schools will start playing, the grammar schools, and I think it'll be an intramural sport. It's going to be so big, and we need it.
We do. All righty, guys. Well, thank y'all both so much for
Thank
being
you.
with me.
This is gasoline.
Gasoline and fire. Here we go. Back to you, bud.
It's going to make me
Thank
sit
you.
down.
All right, those were some great interviews. And now, as always, it's time for Jeff and his Burr Under My Saddle.
I'm going to start this week a little 3-part series, and I'm going to start today. I'm actually going to be a pickleball net. So I had to find a pickleball net to interview because pickleball nets, they're really good. They do their job well, but nobody talks about them. They have feelings too. So I went out back and I sat down with my pickleball net to interview. And I mean, I know people out there
I'm crazy. I'm not. I'm not. It's you people that aren't understanding that are crazy. And the net starts telling me its feelings. It's like, I stand here doing my job way better than everybody else on the court. I don't hardly make any mistakes. But it said people will come up and they'll make a mistake and they just hit me with their paddle, just right on the top of my head. That's one thing that happens. And some people like disregard me. The ball will go outside of me and they hit this silly ATP thing where they go around me. Don't go around me, people. I'm sitting there doing my job. Don't go around me. Don't do that. And then when I do try to get involved a little bit, when I reach up and barely tip the ball, oh my gosh, don't let me get in and play. Oh, people get really frustrated. Oh, you tipped the net. You tipped the net. So we need to think about it. You know, in this all-inclusive community we live in, this equipment out here has feelings too, people. So that's it. Burr Under My Saddle. Guess what we're going to hear from next week? We're going to hear from the ball. Back to you, bud.
Jeff, thanks for that Burr Under My Saddle. I didn't know the nets felt that bad, but I really did.
Well, I'm glad now.
I'm guilty of hitting it once or twice.
I am.
All right. Take a time out for a Coach's Minute.
Hey guys, welcome back to Coach's Minute. Today we're talking about dinking for the intermediate player, and we got some tips for you. Jeff, why don't you start us off?
Okay, so there's really three basic movements here that we want to talk about in dinking. The first is just a step to the side and a lunge, one way or the other. The second is take a step and then lunge when I'm having to go further. So I'm here, take a step to cover more area. Then the third thing to do is to try to create space. Sometimes the ball gets onto you and you need to create space. So all that is just a drop step. And now I'm creating space in here to get behind the ball to execute my dink. Same thing on this side. I'm going to create some space right here, and then I'm going to hit my dink. The thing is with dinking, y'all, you got way more time than what you think most of the time. So take your time, try to execute your shot. A lot of up and over. We don't want to finish in the net. We want it to be up and over. All right, Ken, you want to, let's try to demonstrate a little bit. All right, so we're straight on there. We're not moving. All right, now Ken's going to move me a little bit. I'm going to lunge.
I got to step back there.
Yep. I'm going to, that's just a little step back and create.
I'm taking that one. It was out the air.
All right, I should have got that one out of the air. Out of the air. All right, step back and create. You have more time than what you think.
Well, that's one of the keys. You've got the time. You don't need to rush your shot because you really do have.
There's a lunge. There's a slight lunge. All right, here's a step back. Hit my dink and come right back up.
So that's good stuff.
Yep. All right, so there's three basic steps that you can go through. Remember, you have time, and I hope some of those tips will help y'all out.
And now it's time.
Hey, bud, I've got a shout out. All righty, bud. Got a couple of shout outs today. And my first is that we just hosted at Pelican Park our St. Patty's Day tournament this past weekend. And Erica Lehrman deserves my first shout out because she just works so hard and does such a good job. She just handles it all on her own, and it's pretty amazing to watch her. She's really kind of getting it down to a science, but she works very, very long hours to accomplish a tournament. And I want to thank and give a shout out to my court monitors, Donna Fritcher, Donna Allen, and Ken Wynn. Also want to shout out to all of the participants and winners. It was a good time and a lot of great competition in there. So we were sorry that we did have to move it into the gym, but weather wasn't cooperating for us. But everybody still had a great time and made the best of it. My second shout out is going to be to Slidell, Mayor Cromer, for just being so engaged and for getting this progress. It's just amazing to watch how he just got determined, got with the council and made it happen. So, and also Dale Galloway, who we interviewed, and for the time that he spent with us, he was representing the Slidell Pickleball Association. Everybody that's a member with it, again, kudos to you for all the hard work and for putting a good effort forward to make the project happen. Janice LeBlanc and Jay Finch for spending some time with us, and all those longtime Slidell pickleballers who showed up for meetings and different things to make the project happen. We look forward to getting out there and seeing these courts when they're finished. And I think the mayor said 180 days. Let's hope that happens and we can all get out there and give a big hurrah when they're open. So back to you, bud.
All right, Vicki, thanks for that those shout outs. And now it's time for Ken's tournament previews. Hot off the press, it's time for Ken's tournament previews.
Thanks, Bud. Let's start with April. April 6th, 2024 is the Miss Mississippi. It's a mixed doubles tournament, one-day tournament at Halls Ferry Park in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. Registration closes March 27th, so don't delay. That's right around the corner. Also, the same weekend, April 6th, is King and Queen of the Court. It's a round-robin scramble at Pelican Park. This is a really interesting format. So you'll register for your level, and you will partner with the other people in your level. So you'll rotate partners playing with everyone in your level. And this is Global Pickleball Network. It's called King and Queen of the Court, All Play All. Check it out on Global Pickleball Network. Registration will be closing at the end of March. The next weekend, Hattiesburg. This is April 12th through 14th. It's the Hattiesburg Pickleball Classic at Tatum Park in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. There's already 160 plus people registered. Registration will close March 29th. This is going to be a great tournament. A lot of people are registered for this. The competition is really going to be top notch. Marlena Martis is your tournament director. This is a fundraiser for the Young Life Organization and the USM Wesley Foundation. We're really looking forward to it. Friday night is open play in the social. Saturday is gender doubles. Sunday, mixed doubles. The next weekend, April 20th, 21st, is the second annual Dinking in the Delta in Greenwood, Mississippi. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. April 27th, this is the 5th annual Eastern Shore Classic in Lott Park. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. The same weekend, April 27th, 28th, is the Vicksburg Open in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Registration will close April 21st. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. April 28th, Pickleball for a Cause at Fritchie Park Gym, Slidell, Louisiana. We're going to put the QR code on the screen and the phone number. Either call it or scan the QR code to register. Going to May 3rd through 5th. This is at the club at the township in Ridgeland, Mississippi. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. Registration closes April 26th. There's already over 70 people registered for this tournament. May 11th, this is the Heart and Soul Pickleball Tournament at Pelican Park. This is the fundraiser for a great organization called No Heart Left Behind. This will be a one-day tournament. Go to globalpickleball.network to register. We'll put the QR code on the screen. So this will be gender doubles, mixed doubles, and a junior scramble. So we'll have all three events going on the same day. There's going to be a lot of giveaways, including this Selkirk Lux paddle will be part of the giveaway, along with several Selkirk gift cards. There's going to be both a physical raffle as well as an online raffle. It's going to be a fun day at Pelican Park. That's May 11th, Heart and Soul Pickleball Tournament. Let's see, May 18th, 19th, state games at Mississippi. This will be at Halls Ferry Park in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. The same weekend, a tournament has moved. It's the Pickle in the Dell is now May 18th, 19th. This will be at the Crossgates Fitness Center in Slidell, Louisiana. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. Let's see, the last weekend in May 31st through June 2nd. This is the first annual Graywood Golf and Racket Club Pickleball Tournament in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. Registration will close May 22nd. There's gender doubles, mixed doubles, and singles. There's already over 80 people have registered for that. Moving to August 8th through the 11th is the second annual NOLA Pickle Fest at the Moriel Convention Center in New Orleans, Louisiana. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. There's already 180 plus people registered. Moving to September 6th through 8th, brand new tournament. It's the Louisiana State Championship at the NOLA Hilton in New Orleans. Go to pickleballbrackets.com. So if you medal in your state games, you'll be able to go and compete at the United States Championship in Dallas, Texas, later this year. Also, if you gold medal in the state games, you'll get your entry fee waived at the United States Championship games in Dallas, Texas. Finally, October 2024, October 4th through 6th is the Louisiana Senior Games. This will be at the Legacy in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Remember, this is a qualifying year. So if you medal, you'll be able to participate in the Nationals, which will be in Des Moines, Iowa in the summer of 2025. We don't have a URL yet, but we'll pass it along as soon as we get it. And finally, registration, we're almost at the point where registration will open for the Halloween tournament, October 25th through 27th in Baton Rouge. As soon as we get a link to that, we'll pass it along. That's it, Bud. Back to you.
All right, Ken, thanks for those tournament previews. And now, if nobody has anything else, I think it's time to say goodnight. Good night, y'all. See you on the court.
Hey, from the Pickleball crew, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next week.
Well, that's it for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave any comments, and please like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks again, and see you next week.